Alright. So, yours, gentlemen, Dylan, that's enough. I should have it this way. And I want to kind of line them up, and you're going to take it and fold it in half. So, these titles come across. And when you're done, and I fold mine,
that's clever though.
it should now end up with these different sections.
That's clever.
Chapter 6. Chapter 6, Scatterplots, Vocabulary, Graphing Scatterplots, Homework, Line of Fit, Foundation, or Equations for Line of Fit. I will come around with a couple staplers. And when you staple, you're just going to do it. Make sure your papers are down. And I'm just going to put 2 in the corner. Gentlemen. That way when I open up, I can be opening to each section. It's going to be pretty important that we're able to do this. If you want to put one in the middle, I think you're able to. But do not, oh, I stapled mine sideways. You want to staple it horizontal, like this way, so when you fold it, it will fold easy. Okay? So let me get the other 2 staplers out. One for you guys. Alright, so go ahead and have your packet of Scatterplots in front of you. This is where we will be doing all our work for this chapter. So you must keep track of this. All your important work will be found in here. We will be gluing it in our notebook. When we glue it in here, I'm going to leave the left page open because we're going to have a place where we'll probably have extra notes. Something that we're going to find out that we didn't put in the foldable that we need. The right side is where I'm going to put. Did you not get a stapler, Will? Alright, so Aiden, boys, you can close your laptops now. We are on our foldable. In my foldable, I am going to open up to the very first one. And it says, gentlemen, if I ask you to stop talking one more time, it's going to be so you can leave. I'm done. I'm asking you to stop. The rest of us are ready to go. If you don't want to participate, you may leave. Okay. On the very top, we're going to be talking about scatterplots. And you'll see that our chapter 6, the goal is I can use scatterplots to describe patterns and relationships between 2 quantities. That is what we are going to use with a scatterplot. A scatterplot is going to show the relationship between 2 different quantities. So, when I look on this first one, it says, what is a scatterplot? A scatterplot is a graph. You'll listen with us. A scatterplot is a graph that shows the relationship between 2 data sets. One of our data will be on the x-axis, the other one will be on y. Aaron, where's yours at? There's a purpose. We don't need to be gluing it. We're filling it out right now. Says the two sets of data are graphed as ordered pairs. In a coordinate plane. Now, for right now, you're going to see there's 4 examples underneath, correct? You don't have to write anything on those yet. These 4 that are listed, those are example what a scatter plot looks like. Every one of those dots that are on that plane, that are on that graph, has an ordered pair, like 1, 2, 3, 4. They have their coordinates, right? And we know how to graph coordinates. Each one of them also represents data, where our x-axis and our y-axis, they talked about something. Maybe it was on the x, the further you go right is how many days, and when you go up on the y-axis, that's how much money you make. Well, when you have one set of data, you plot it according to those. This is a scatter plot. What do you notice different in a scatter plot to our linear lines that we've worked with before? If you think what we just got done with, when we were graphing lines, what was the difference between that and what you see here? Brett?
What's the bottom thing behind the plane?
Coordinate.
All right.
What do you notice different with these graphs than what we've been used to doing?
The dots are not organized.
Yeah, remember our other ones? That's why they were called linear lines. Linear means a straight line. All our dots were lined up perfect. Where their slope was the same. To get from one point to the other had a perfect slope. They all matched up. We know in real life that doesn't always happen. There's not one rule that sets for every single thing. So that's why we have a scatter plot. These typically are more real life situations. This is what we'll see with real life. And we're going to do a number of examples through this chapter with real life examples. The next part we're going to do is turn your page to graphing. Steps to make a scatter plot. For today, you are going to do 3 steps to graph a scatter plot. The first one is you have to determine the scale on an x and y axis. Okay? Our x-axis is on the bottom, left to right. Our y-axis is up and down. And when we look at this, we're going to just talk about these and then we'll actually do it. But the first thing is you have to determine your scale. If I look at our graph, we have 12 spaces to do something. And so I'm going to look at my data and I have to find the range. I take the largest number, subtract it by the smallest one. That gives me my range. I then divide it by how many lines I have for my x-axis. And we start at the origin, and then we start making it. So we're going to do this on number 1. I'm going to show you how we do the first one. If we look at the practice graphing, step 1, determine our scale. On here, it says absences in final grade. Let me get onto this. All right. So when I have a table of information, the one on my left is going to be my x-axis, and this one is my y-axis. Let's look at our y-axis right now. Actually, I'll take it back. Let's look at our x. Absences. What is the largest number we have?
10.
The largest number is 10. The absences, the smallest one is 0. And our largest one is 10. X-axis runs along the bottom. We have 12 spots. Do we have enough spots for each absence to go by 1? We have 12, we need 10. Do I have enough? Yeah. So here's the first thing. We always start on our graph at the origin. This is 0. So on my x-axis, I'm going to identify that each line, and I'm going to put it right where the line is, they're going to go by 1. And the reason I can do this is like we just said, I only need 10 absences, and we have room to do 12. So I don't have to do any work. I'm going to label it. My x-axis, each line is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Easy. Okay, here's the step 1 though. Making our scale. If we look at our y-axis, final grades, what is the largest grade we have on there? What's the highest score? 95. Thank you. I'm going to put an H over here by it. This was my high. What was my low? 65, right? We look down. Here is my low. So I'm going to find out what my scale is. Underneath, I'm going to show my work. I'm going to go 95, which was my high, and we subtract 65. What is our range? 95 minus 65 is 30. Okay, what I want you to do is make sure you have that copied, and I'm going to stop there because we're almost out of time, and I want to make sure to go over where you were going in next time. Your homework, the only homework you have for today, you have to make sure you have this stapled and glued in your notebook. That is it. Yep. So you have them both glued.